Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we're going to talk about the wide range humbucker. So the wide range humbucker has little myth and legend around it, and let's talk about it. First of all, where did it come from? Second of all, why is it so special? And third, can I still get one? So back in the 50s, the humbucker was invented by a guy named Seth Lover. You probably already knew this, and if you didn't, he actually put it first in the Gibson guitars that are, like gold now. You can't even touch these things because they're so expensive, and actually many guitars that have those original Seth Lover guitars in them, old SGs, 335s, or pickups in them, are very valuable because of those particular pickups. Now over on the other side of the guitar thing is Fender, right? And they built their whole kind of business around single coil pickups. That clarity, that brightness, there's really Fender's a thing, right? We all know that single coil Fender thing is a thing. Fender realized that, Gibson's got humbuckers, I probably should have some humbuckers too. In the mid to late 60s, 1967-ish, Seth Lover, who originally invented the other one, went over to Fender and helped him design the wide range humbucker. Now what was different about the wide range humbucker? A regular humbucker has screws on one side, slugs on the other, magnet underneath, and that's what a humbucker sounds like. That's what we know they sound like. But Fender still wanted like a Fender-ish sort of sound. So what they did was they did something a little differently. They used the actual magnet poles as the magnets and not a bar underneath. It's a completely different design. But they had to use this other material. Now this magnet material was called, well, you'll see it written Cunif, and it was made out of copper, nickel, and iron. The reason it had to be made out of those materials is because they machined it into a threaded screw instead of having like just one long bar that goes underneath. That's different than Alnico. Alnico magnets are made out of aluminum, nickel, and cobalt. And they're much more difficult to machine. In fact, they break in pieces and stuff, so it's harder to machine them. That was the main difference between those two pickups. Well, what was the difference? The Fender wide range humbucker had a lot brighter, kind of chimier, Fender-y sound, right? Less Gibson-y, of course. Even though the same guy designed both pickups, it ended up sounding more Fender-y. Now, here's the thing. They stopped making those pickups in the late 70s. Then they started coming out with a reissue of those pickups that looked the same, but they weren't quite the same inside. They actually looked like a humbucker, and they were basically a humbucker in a bigger box, and then they put this like foam tape stuff around them to take up the gap, but it was basically just like a regular humbucker inside, and it didn't sound anything like the original 70s wide range humbuckers. It just sounded like a regular humbucker. In fact, it wasn't actually that very good of one. It was kind of muddy and, a little bit, it just sounded like a pickup. There was nothing real amazing about them, but they looked the part on the outside. So the question is, how can you get, for your reissue guitar, that classic sound in that classic format without spending the $500 or whatever it costs to get the actual pickup if you find them used on eBay and stuff? Well, there's a few companies out there that make them. The Creamery, Lawler, there's a couple other ones that make their version of this pickup that is pretty good. They are quite expensive, actually. So you can go get the old original ones for about $500 a piece. You can get some pretty legit recreations, but the magnets are still a little bit different. But they're a couple $100 a piece as well. And then at Dylan Talks Tone, one of the things we do is we actually reassemble the original reissue pickups. We don't change the structure, but we change out the magnet and rewind them and put them all back together to give it some more of that brightness back together. Is there a big myth about these things? Is there some kind of voodoo that's about them? Yeah, there kind of was, because those magnets that cunif magnet, you can't get it anymore. Those magnets aren't made. All the industries that supported the copper, nickel, iron based magnet that was used in those pickups, most of them, they don't use those materials anymore. So it's not like we can just go to a store and get those magnet materials and have that exact same clone. There are a couple of people that are pulling it off, but it is quite costly. So hopefully that gives you a little idea inside the myth and the legend of the wide range humbucker by Fender from the 70s, and the couple of different options that you can get your sound of that pickup in your guitar today. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there and then hit the little bell that goes next to it, because we come out with 3 videos every week, and we have over 300 videos on this channel that have to do with guitar tech, guitar tone, how things work, how they were made, how you can work on your own guitar, all that kind of stuff, and I think you'll find something that you'll really dig. If you have a question about the history of anything that we might use today, like these pickups or some other thing in guitar history, do me a favor, put it in the comments below and we will make a video just for you. My name is Dylan, and this is Dylan Talks Tone.